Good afternoon. Thank you for joining the Graduate Student Success Social 3/4 hour. It may be a little less than that. We'll just take as much time as we need to be sure that we answer your questions, share information, and hear from you. We really want to hear from you. Nina Marianovic is our session monitor, and she'll be taking your comments, questions, and responses from the chat. So let us know how you're doing, what's on your mind, questions you might have, anything that you'd like for us to know and be a part. We want you to be a part of this conversation as well, not just me talking all the time. The last few weeks of working remotely has really turned our ways of working upside down. Our graduate student success team members, including me, are now all working remotely. It's been a little bit stressful for all of us, but we're learning new ways to work, teach, and do our work. And I know you're working on some new ways of learning as well. This Microsoft Teams has become our new best friend. We're using it every single day now, and so even a month ago I didn't even know what Microsoft Teams was, and so now I use it daily. So that's what the remote learning and remote work has made a lot of difference in just about the approaches we use and how we go about doing our work. Our CHD faculty, staff, and administrators are working really hard to be supportive of our students during this time. We know it's very stressful to you, but it's also stressful to a lot of your instructors. They've not taught online before, and so again, let's just try to be flexible and resilient as we all get through this together. Please know that our Graduate Student Success team will be with you every step of the way. Today's hot topic, which is our team has spent most of our time on this morning, has been registration. Registration opened today at 10:30 for our grad students, and so it's been an exciting morning in our world, from looking at schedules, looking at people who can get into courses they thought they could get into, holes of different kinds. So it's been a little chaotic and a little bit stressful this morning, but we're working through each and every problem as it arises. Please know that we're going to be here to help you if you have a registration issue or problem as we go through this. I've been monitoring the course schedule and looking to see how many students we have who've been registering, and we have a lot, which is great. We love seeing those numbers tick up and seeing the courses starting to be populated with students, and so that's exciting to us because it means you're coming back and you want to take classes again, and we're going to work toward those degrees, and we're excited about that. If you'll let us know in the chat how your registration is going, if it went okay, or if you had some issues or problems, did the system work okay for you? Just let us know. Keep us posted on how things went with you for registration this morning. We did have a little bit of what Nina called a brouhaha, which is probably a pretty good description of it, with one of our HROD courses, or a couple of those. They were holding seats for online students, and if someone was an online student, they weren't allowed in. So we've gotten that situation worked out and fixed, and so you should be able to register for your HROD courses now. But please know, just stay calm, that the registration is open. It starts today, but it's open from now until the end of the first week of classes. So you really have the next 3 months to add classes, adjust your classes, and make any adjustments and changes that you need to. So today is just the first day, but we'll have lots of opportunities, and we're going to be here to try to make sure that you get into the courses that you need to get into for summer and fall. Are there any questions about that, Nina? Anybody, any chat notes or comments on that? Nope, not seeing any. Okay. In order to provide additional support to students during the COVID-19 setbacks, the university is allowing students with bursar holes from spring 2020 to register for summer and fall courses. This decision was made to give students additional time to pay. We understand, the university understood that this is a stressful financial time as well as academic time. So they're giving all of our students a little more time to take care of those bursar holes if you have some of those. So just know that you're going to be able to register. Advising holes have also been removed for most students. If you're getting one, please let us know. We'll work to resolve it. Sometimes they come for a variety of reasons. Some of our former student athletes still have athletic holes, and we just work with athletics to get those taken off, even though you haven't been an athlete for a while. Sometimes those pop back up. And then also some of the admission holds and things that were put on your account when you first started. So we're making sure that all those are taken care of and get removed. Some of the holds were lifted because a student might be on warning or probation, and we hate when that happens, but sometimes it does. Sometimes life gets in the way of folks and they don't get to do their very best. If that's the case, please reach out to your advisor and make a good contact with them if you have some lingering incomplete grades or health or personal issues that are keeping you from being your best. And be sure that you kind of work with them to get those kind of resolved and taken care of, and also help them to plan the rest of your course taking. I've heard from a few of you in emails and things that maybe distance and online learning is not your very favorite way of learning. I completely understand. I'm also hearing faculty say it's not their favorite way of teaching, not their preferred method as well. So please know that we're all in this together and we're all working on it. Also be reminded that pass-fail option is available to you if you just find this is a little more difficult for you, and so we'll work through that. There was an article that I saw this week in the Chronicle of Higher Education, and the title of it was "Nobody Signed Up for This: One Professor's Guidelines for an Interrupted Semester." It was written by Becky Cipiano, and that's how a lot of us feel. None of us signed up for this. The faculty didn't sign up for this disruption. You didn't sign up for this disruption, but it's affecting all of us. And so the professor is Brandon Bain, and he was trying to lay out a plan in his syllabus for what happens when you take a giant step back. And so he's from University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and I love what he had to say about how we might address this and how we might think about, what we might do. And so he updated his syllabus because of the pandemic, and he goes, he has 5 principles, which I think were all really cool. Number 1 was nobody signed up for this, not for the sickness, not for the social distancing, not for the sudden and collective lives that were changed on campuses. Not for the new technologies, not for the varied access to learning materials. It's really thrown a lot of changes in how we do lots of things. His principle number 2, which I love to hear, because this is about who I am and who our office is about, that the humane option is the best option. We are going to prioritize supporting each other as humans. We're going to prioritize simple solutions that make sense for the most people, and we're going to prioritize sharing resources and communicating clearly. It takes a little more communication where you're doing it remotely. You might need, where you used to send emails. Emails don't always convey things the way you don't hear the tone, and so it's really important sometimes to pick up that phone and actually talk to somebody rather than just depending solely on text. Like I said, the Teams thing has been it's been great for all of our meetings, and so it's available to you as a student. So I encourage you to, if you want to have a Zoom or a team meeting, to try those kinds of things where you can actually talk to people face to face, like you would if you were having a meeting in someone's office or in a class. But priority number 3 is we just can't do the things the same as we did online. We can't do the same things online as we did in our classes in real person. Some assignments may not be any longer possible. Some expectations are no longer reasonable. Some objectives are no longer valuable. And so if you're finding that with some of your classes, you might need to communicate that with your instructors and talk to them a little bit about, how you might adjust and make some suggestions and helpful. Be doing it in a kind way, but also you're trying to learn as well. So make sure that you communicate maybe what you might be able to do. And we are committed to this. Principle 4 was fostering intellectual nourishment, social connection, and personal accommodation. Asynchronous content across time zones, across access, and across context is sometimes not that easy. So we're going to make a little extra effort to still make those connections, be a part of the maybe the teams that you're a part of in your class, or the learning groups that you're a part of. Make sure that you stay connected and in contact with those folks. then those optional synchronous discussions to learn together and combat isolation. So even if you're doing a lot of your course asynchronous, be sure you stay connected in lots of ways so that you can keep that connection going in your classes, because I have found in working in higher ed for a long time that those social connections in our classes are almost as valuable as what we learn in the content of our classes, because these are your the peers that you have, the networking that you do during the classes are so valuable. So don't lose that during this online format. But number 5 is we will remain flexible and adjust to the situation. Nobody knows where this is going. We're just going to adapt, and that's what we're trying to do literally every single day. And everyone needs support and understanding in this unprecedented time. And I can tell you that's the message I hear at every single one of our leadership meetings with our deans, with our chairs, with our program directors, with your faculty. It's again, let's be thoughtful with each other. Let's be considerate of our students. Let's think about what we need to do to help our students to be successful. I think Nina's going to put that link to that article in the Chronicle of Higher Ed in our chat so that you'll have that. But the whole article is very well done, but I just thought those tips and those thoughts about how we might take good care of each other during this time are really important and really valuable. Now our Graduate Student Success Graduate Assistant Spencer Stone is going to share some ideas and information that he has found regarding the online experience and working with faculty. Spencer?
Hey, Margaret, thank you so much for those comments. And honestly, I'll be looking forward to reading that article. That sounds like a fantastic bit of advice that we can intake from our fellow academics in Chapel Hill. Thank you so much for that. From a student perspective, guys, this semester has been topsy-turvy. It's been all over the place. It's been good, it's been bad, but definitely has not had a lack of interest and interesting comings and goings. And from a professor perspective, I've been trying to gather what they need from us students over the last week or so, and trying to get a feel for what, as a student body, we might be able to do to benefit our faculty as well. They do so much for us on day-to-day, from helping us learn complex issues, and it's the least we could do to put a foot forward for them and try to make sure that they're doing well. The biggest thing that I've come across from professors in asking them is that we open communication lines. We're practicing social distance, but that doesn't mean we have to be socially distant. There are so many things that we can do to reach out. As Margaret mentioned, we're using Teams very effectively. Phone calls, even though it feels archaic, absolutely reach out through a phone call, text messages, emails. There are so many different ways that we can get in touch with them. So during times of uncertainty and a little bit of change in our academic pace, let's always communicate whatever manner we can. And the second thing that has come across my plate is that there have been a little bit of a change, as it were, for the grading times for some professors and their curriculum. So let's keep an open mind and understand that a lot of things that we turn in as students might not have the same turnaround times. Yeah, if we can always keep an open mind that professors are trying to adjust their grading methods as well. That's probably the biggest thing of feedback that I've gotten from professors. So yeah, these were the two things that professors have echoed to me. And let's try to keep these in mind as we move forward to the end of the semester and try to make it good for both faculty and for students. Thanks, guys.
Okay, send us your tips, your suggestions, and questions in the chat feature. We want to hear from you. We want to know how things are going. If you we'll be posting this to on our YouTube, and so if you happen to be listening to it on the YouTube channel, please let us know. You can send those questions to us via the our GSS accounts, the CEHDGSS@louisville.edu. So here, also we want you to be sure that you check out our new, we've just launched our GSS website. And so there's lots and lots of good information there. So check, add that information. You might want to get that information there. So visit our site and send your ideas, thoughts, and about that as well. And we look forward to hearing from you. We want to encourage, but as we go through all this together, I guess the last part of the message we want to leave with you is we want to encourage you to think about patience and resilience in this process. It's really time to show your grit. Grit is something that's we're going to talk a little bit more about as we in the next couple of minutes. Angela Duckworth has written several books and done several TED Talks and good YouTube videos on grit. The book is her power of passion and perseverance for long-term and meaningful goals. So, you know, that grit, the passion for perseverance and hanging in there, those are valuable tools to have, especially in times like this. And she goes through some really trying times in the world and talks about how the populations and the communities with grit and companies with grit were able to overcome some of those really adversarial times or adversity in times. So check out her work if you want to be inspired for the challenges we're facing now and for the challenges ahead. Challenging times calls for us to be resilient, optimistic, confident, and creative, seeking excellence as our goal rather than perfection. We can all do our best during this time, but trying to be perfect will likely just cause more anxiety and stress. So just try to do your very best through this difficult situation. And remember that grit is an attitude and a little bit of swagger. So be strong and positive in the face of adversity. Just know that our team is here to support you and help you. We want you to be successful during this time. We've got lots of end of the semester things that are going to be happening and coming up, and so we just want you to finish strong through this semester. If we can find additional ways to help you as we get started for summer with the new online completely environment, please let us know. We're here to help you and support you. Keep reaching out, keep asking for help when you need it, and just let us know what we can do to support you through this time. That's all I have for today. If we have any other questions or any comments, Nina, that you want to share? Okay, all right. Well, till next time, we'll see you soon.